Let me tell you, it wasn't a start.
Any moment now. Okay. This should be working now. Not laggy. Okay. That was definitely a glitch stream. Now it's actually, because I've had full bars all the time. What's poppin', Z gang? Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Under the fire. Boo! What's poppin', Z gang? Another day, another stream. We begin and end every stream with the Sigma face. It is our hello and their goodbye.
We might have to postpone the stories.
Wait, why?
No, I can say them.
Alright.
Wait, but you guys wanted to say the stories, not me.
She started feeling nauseous. I didn't want her to.
Oh, okay.
The spirits are like entering her.
Possibly. So then should I just go down there first?
No, whatever you want to do. You want to go down there first?
I really don't mind.
Are you Sigma enough?
No, I'll do it. It's just nobody wants to film.
No, I'll film for you. Let me just film.
Oh, okay.
No, I feel
You're going to sleep. You're getting drugged and you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
not getting
Okay.
drugged on stream. We don't do drugs. Stay away from drugs.
Okay.
Is your stream working?
Yeah, now it's not weird anymore. I think.
Until you start talking about ghosts.
You know what? Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, your thing went out and I got really nauseous.
And it was full bars too.
Yeah.
So
And I was feeling completely fine. Just needed to know.
is it working yet? Dad Hemsy. What up, XS? What up, Timmy?
It's the ghost of the goon.
What up, Mr. Popcat? Hello, Hypernova. Coffee Land. What up, Tremendous?
Goon Ghost is on the edge.
What up, Nathaniel? What up, Danny? What's poppin', Z gang?
Which kind of ghost stories and freaky stories are really good?
Can I say some of
The
stuff I
worst
like
one.
from Laura's
How would
house
we
and you
know?
could expand on that?
Yeah, we don't know because we have no context.
Let me tell you the stories I like the most that she said from her aunt's house, and she can expand on those ones. Sure.
Okay.
The one that I think is the craziest is how the cross burned her skin in the water and burned the cross into her skin. That one, and then the cross jumping off the wall towards her. Well, you could set up the house first and explain the house.
Okay, so there's this house my auntie moved to. It's like out in the middle of nowhere. There's like a really, really old graveyard in the back, and this really creepy barn. And then the barn next door, Jesse James' brother hid out in, and it was like a Wild West like robbery day. And then she moved there with her son after her and her husband got divorced. And then he was like, he's basically my brother. He's like 7 at the time probably.
Mm-hmm.
And this house is old. It has like a little staircase, like a hidden staircase from the kitchen up to like the attic-y, like maid room and stuff.
Yeah.
But I am very sensitive, and every time I would go there, there's like a grate over the floor or something that goes to the basement, and the basement is like half like dirt, half stone walls. It's like eerie stuff. But I always feel really weird, like I'm being watched going there. And then my aunt would see a shadow, a little boy that looked just like my brother, her son.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd run around and like play games with her. But he'd be sitting like, he'd run up the maid's like quarters and go up there, and then she'd go trace him, try to find him, and look out the window, and he's outside swinging on the swings. Yeah.
Bro put us in the Titanic.
But she would be there by herself, so when she did move in, she's very superstitious. One of the things she did was hang this big giant mirror. She took it and had her contractor, she took it to the house, had her contractor like hang it up. She wanted it hanging from the ceiling facing the front door because it's some like spiritual thing that's like superstition.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I want you to do that. She left. She came back the next day. Couldn't find the mirror anywhere. And calls him and is like, I told you to put the mirror up there. He's like, I did. What are you talking about? It's at the bottom in the basement, like in the cellar basement, like the creepy, like dirt floor path in the basement, faced up against the wall, not broken, not anything. That is weird.
They love
And
doing
then-
that.
Yeah,
Like when they mess with people,
yeah,
they love getting people to argue over who did what.
yeah.
And it's like, it's exactly like that.
Didn't
She
that
was
happen
so-
with the kitchen too? With the how they were supposed to fix something in the kitchen and it was all cold.
I forget that part, but
I think
probably.
I could kind of say what
Yeah.
I remember her
What?
saying.
But yeah,
How-
but wait, let's conclude. Is that a different thing?
It's the same house.
No, same thing. Cause it's
No, but I mean, is it the same story? Because I want to
different
conclude on
story.
that
It
one.
has
We're
to do-
painting-
It has to do with the making people argue with each other.
No, but I mean, is it
Because of this.
connected to that story, or are we moving on so that I could conclude that
I
story?
guess I
Okay,
don't-
no, because
Yes, please.
because remember, they're not gonna understand anything if
I
we
guess,
jump
you
back
wanna
and forth.
conclude that part, or is there more you want to add to that?
There's that with her contractor. I guess there was something in the kitchen too about she told him to do something and wanted to fix it. Is it like the walls of
Well,
the
you
water?
wanted to end this and then move on to that.
Oh, I'm just painting the picture of the house. This
Oh,
is-
okay.
this is the
But
house.
because I do want to understand what the mechanism is. So
It
those-
got to the point like what?
no, I'm saying those. It's most of the time it's harmless,
Yeah.
but those type of spirits, they genuinely feed off of arguments.
Yeah.
And to make, like, it basically gaslights people into thinking one of them's lying. Like, it has to be convincing that one of them's lying,
Yeah.
so that they argue, doubt each other, lose trust,
Okay.
and sever connections.
Oh.
They like to break things up.
That could be.
It's
Okay.
like, think of a really spiteful person who hates it when people are friends. Imagine the spirit form of that,
Oh.
and they love to just watch them argue, and they feed off of the energy like it's water.
Okay.
And it's like, that's kind of what they are.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's not like a haunting or anything, but they just exist, and whoever's vulnerable, they get.
Yeah.
And it usually plays in with people's egos, because if people have too much of an ego, one of them will never accept any form of defeat.
Yeah.
So they'll always just clash.
It wasn't me, it was definitely
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Can I add on to this?
Okay, now
What I
continue.
remember from what she said.
Oh, sure.
What I remember, because we were all, this was when we were in Turks and Caicos, right?
Probably.
She was explaining the story. She was like, she wanted to get something done in her kitchen on the floor or something because it was so cold. And she called the contractors or whatever and told them to come do it.
Yeah.
And then they never came. They said they were going to come, never came. And then when she called them back, she's like, you guys were supposed to come like yesterday, whatever it was. And they're like, you called us and told us not to come.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot that part.
It was giving just
Yeah, that's a
which I'm pretty sure she said
Yep.
something like that, which is kind of creepy.
that's
And then it gets
definitely
like,
something they love doing.
yeah.
Dude, that makes me feel so weird to even
That's
say that.
crazy.
If I remember that correctly, it was
I
something like
believe
that.
it. Yeah, because the contractors is just like one guy. He's our like handyman. Very close. It's like a very close family friend. Does everything. So that makes sense.
How does that even work though?
No, it doesn't work. It's not. It's not genuinely physical. Nobody actually picked up the phone and spoke to them. They're really good at making you think something happened when it didn't happen. So being a spirit, I would go to that person's head, create a perfectly streamlined memory of him being on the phone, being told the other thing, make him think she said something else in his head. Like if you had a CCTV camera of what he did that day, you would have never seen him on the phone. He would have completely hallucinated,
Oh, so
and
not-
it's
this
so
didn't even
convincing.
happen?
It's borderline schizophrenia.
God.
That's why schizophrenic people are like,
Me too.
it's how schizophrenia works. They tap you into a completely different dimension in your head. You hallucinate. You think what happened was real. If you look at any like security cameras, nothing actually happens. But they get so convinced that they know what they heard, because using your memory, they'll they'll use your memory to recreate the voice
Dude, it's not a murder. It's a
and your memory of picking up the phone, put them together. And it's not that complicated. You can get hypnotized into doing it by a normal person.
Yeah.
So you're saying that even though it's happening in her house, the contractor who wasn't even there could have been affected by it?
Yeah, as long as they spoke at least once.
Yo, that's so creepy.
If they spoke at least once, there is a connection between the two. There'll be a line. Remember, they're not constricted by time or space. So the moment they connect in any way, emotionally or physically or whatever, they're instantly together, because in their dimension, there's way less of a obstacle of time and space.
That's I mean, yeah, the other ones are obviously, like I said, we want to tell the cross ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can continue if you want.
Wait, can I ask you if I could say something?
Oh, go for it. Oh. Oh, that's so nice.
I was gonna, it's like the whole life is just like kind of like cool, you know, like it's their helper
I
and
don't
stuff.
think that's
By the way, Z Gang, spam happy birthday.
Happy
For Milan?
birthday. Can we just sing for him real quick?
Nah, we already have.
No, I don't think he likes that. I'm just gonna make the chat spam happy birthday. It is his birthday.
Thank you, chat. Happy birthday, brother. How's it feel to be named after one of the greatest cities in the world? They named it after me, so. Oh,
Tell me why.
they call
Okay.
Los Angeles.
After like weird stuff continuously started happening for months after she moved in, she had a priest come, and then the first one that came, like this
this one's
psychic
crazy.
priest type of thing, walked up.
Wait. First one came what?
When the first one came to the house, because she
Yeah.
wanted to figure out what was going on. She travels the world, so she's like would bring different items to the house and stuff too, and like she is a designing hoarder, I would say, because everything.
A designing hoarder?
Everything's clean, but she has so many little knickknacks everywhere. But like, it looks good.
I think I might be able to explain what you're gonna say next.
Can we
But-
see if
but-
you can guess what you're gonna say before
What are
you
you
say
gonna
it?
say?
No, I might be like, I don't know what you're gonna say, but I mean, every time someone has any kind of a physical obsession with not being able to let go of things,
Yeah.
they can usually be spiritually clogged. Any form of hoarding usually is tied to a spiritual clogging,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
She just really likes. She likes shopping. She likes buying things. She likes buying a lot of things.
Wait a minute.
A lot of like random
Is
things.
this a self-documentary about yourself?
No. I'm not talking about materialism. I don't mean materialism or buying. I mean, does she have a
She likes
unhealthy
buying-
obsession with hoarding things?
She likes buying a lot of things and she doesn't get rid of any of them.
That's what I mean. You can buy as much things as you want. That's not a problem. Everyone's materialistic. But I mean, not being able to get rid of them is always some form of attachment.
Yes. So she had a priest, a psychic, come to the house. She wanted them to walk through and see like if they got any bad energy from any of these things. And the first one came and looked at the house, said, "I'm not going in there." Like looked at her and was like, "You can't pay me enough money to go into that house." She's like, "Okay, like let's find another one." What?
You hear that scream?
Yeah. That's like the third one I heard tonight.
Yeah, I heard a lot of
No, dude. Look up.
Oh, it's Jason Derulo.
She got another one to come, and then for some reason she put this little item trinket that she got, I think, in New Orleans, in the drawer, and she didn't think anything of it. But when one of the priests came that finally would go into the house, walked through her whole house and just stopped at this drawer and was like, "There's something in here that is you need to figure it out."
Mm-hmm.
And it was I can't remember what that exact little trinket is, but at this point she'd put crosses above her bed, all like the different places that it like spiritually it tells you, put these crosses in all these places, bring the holy waters, sprinkle it over your house, sage your house, all of this stuff. She did all of that, and crosses started like flying off the wall. She put a cross over her bed, every time it would go upside down, and even like the Jesus crucifix on it, Jesus went upside down. And then she would wear this big cross on her neck to bed, and the one night she said the cross fell off the wall and her necklace started burning across into her chest.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, she couldn't get rid of the house.
A lot of this is making sense, but I'm gonna let you continue.
And then even when she tried to sell the house, the buyers came with a priest, and the priest said, "Don't buy the house." Is what she said.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
She finally got rid of it for really
Bribe that
cheap.
priest.
Huh?
To bribe the priest to sell it.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
This house is.
It was
This house is great.
that whole valley where all of that is, a lot of demonic stuff has happened. A lot of like,
Did you say valley?
yeah, it's like a hall.
Ooh. Okay.
Like a hall, like backwards.
Because-
Can I just say we
down
didn't get
deep.
too close to that area when we were there, but even the drive in like that vicinity to me was kind of creepy.
The thing is, they live in valleys. Most of their like interdimensional villages and cities are usually within valleys.
Yeah.
Whether you like, again, if you believe in it or not, like if you do believe in that stuff, it is their homes and their like communities, I'd say.
Yeah.
They're always in some form of valleys, especially in the desert,
Yeah.
but not in this case. It's America. It is partially desert, but so
It's in
when you
Indiana in the woods, and back roads in the woods, and then like hollers way back.
Okay, that makes sense. Back to the hoarding thing. So that hoarding thing is a sort of like, think of it as a parasitic spirit that refuses to let go. Because usually a lot of people when they die, when you die in general, you kind of have a freeze frame of how the strongest emotion you feel around roughly that time. And so a lot of people that refuse to believe they've even died or have been holding a grudge and they die with a really heavy, intense emotion that is usually related to some form of refusal of letting go. For example, like any form of grudge, revenge, grieving, guilt, anything. You could be innocent, but if you're guilty enough and you feel that weight of not being able to let go or forgive someone, forgive yourself, regardless, you become one of the spirits that linger around and again refuse to let go of either the regrets, the life you had, or the body that you left, that kind of thing. And so, because of frequency, that same frequency usually ties to people, alive people, that refuse to let go of things. They match with them and they end up living with them. Because the only way they can really find something close and familiar to live with is another person who refuses to let go, but in physical form. That physical form being whatever they're buying and refusing to let go of. And so then they end up being in those objects physically.
Is this like, when you say objects and stuff, like, do they follow people? Or is this like
It entirely depends. But the thing, I'll get to the object manipulation part. So, however, to do with the crosses, the reason that happened with the crosses is because it's not the crosses themselves that they hate. It's the fact that they represent the intention of letting go. I want to let go now, so I'm going to put my intention in this cross. So the moment you even just think of Jesus, not because of Jesus himself, but because you're trying to think of a figure, an idol that represents forgiveness and letting go, they hate that. They're pure spite. And so hate, spite, more physical weight, burning, throwing things, turning it upside down. Because again, remember, the Christian cross is to represent letting go and forgiving. And you turn it around, it turns into the complete opposite. Not because it looks like a sword. I think that's just another thing, but because it kind of
It's not letting
it's
go,
it's just a sign that it's like you as a spirit, you're being kicked out. You can't hold on to this anymore. And so they end up haunting these objects, and then when something that represents their eviction happens, they throw a tantrum. The tantrum being the cross burning her neck, being turned around, all that kind of stuff. They just, it's like, again, it's like a little kid who refuses to let go of a toy.
Yeah.
And so that person letting go is like no more home for that spirit. Huh?
How are you so well versed?
I really can't explain that. If I were to explain how I know this stuff, it would freak out both of you guys and the stream.
Can you see ghosts?
I can't answer that right now.
Oh my word.
Don't trust me. You don't want to get into that stuff. It's the reason I want to go down there.
Based on that, she had another house. I mean, that's all the most I can say for there. But if you want to talk about like seeing a ghost and being intuitive and not type of way, based with her and me both, her father passed away, and I went to stay with them in one of their houses in Tennessee, so it's a completely different state. And for the most part, things there were like, not many crazy things happened. There was one room that was eerie, but other than that, the house was pretty good. And I stayed in her son's room while he was out this one night when I went down to visit. And I'm talking to Kia on the phone, and it's like 3 a.m. And I hear the TV turn on down like, it's like the room is up here, and then there's a balcony, and then down here is the living room. So I hear the TV turn on down there, and I'm like, what the heck, Kia? And I like go look over the balcony to see if anyone's down there. Nobody's down there. I'm freaking. I was like, okay, this is weird. I went back in the room. I shut the door. I turn around, and a full vision of like a guy.
Well, this is the worst time to do this. This is the worst time to do
Is
this.
this exactly what you saw in that
That's
house?
what I saw now.
So he's probably just editing a video.
I turn around, I'm on the phone with Kia, and I turn around and I see this man pass directly, like, it's the door, the bed, and the window, and I see him pass directly in front of, between the window and the door, or the bed and the window.
And there was no guys home?
No, I mean, no guys were there at all. But it was still only like, I could really describe his face completely and what he was wearing, his top hat, and I could describe that to a T. And the next morning.
Did you say top hat?
Yeah. So it looked
Like this big
very-
circular black top hat?
Yes.
Ah.
But it seems very like textbook of it saying that. But I described this man to her, and exactly
Wait, can I just ask
who I saw. What?
Did it look like a real person? Or
Yeah.
did it just look a little weird?
No, it looked like a real person, but without their bottom half.
Oh, you could see the whole body, but you didn't see the bottom half?
Yeah, just like the top up. But also that's like about where the bed was too. And then
Yeah.
it was just very briefly, just very like
Mhm.
it was like a split second that I see this man, but very detailed. I tell her the next morning, and she was like, "You just described," because I don't know that I met her dad maybe when I was very, very little, like 7, and I described it to her. That was my dad. And I was like, "Do you have a picture? I want to see this." She showed me a picture. It was exactly him. The hat, his clothes, exactly how he dressed, everything was him. And I was like, somebody was up, like the TV was on at 3, and she goes, I woke up at like whatever the time was that I was talking to Kia, like 3:23,
Yeah.
for example. She's like, I woke up at that time and couldn't go back to sleep. I felt my dad here. And I was like, I literally saw your dad that night. It's crazy.
Wait, what did I say? What did you tell me?
I freaked out. I don't remember. I was like,
I don't even remember.
yeah, I just saw someone. But I felt at peace. I didn't feel scared. I felt like very peaceful. Like maybe he was just walking through to check on, because that would have been his grandson's room. So I feel like he was passing through the house to say hi to everyone. And check
Do you
on
want me to explain the spirit part of seeing him?
whatever you
I mean,
want.
like, are you,
Wait, why did
is
you
the
get so
story
freaked
finished?
out about the top hat?
Yeah.
Because, but that's a separate story. I think that that's a unique, different thing. But the top hat thing is because there's a very common sleep paralysis demon that is always seen like 7 foot tall, wearing a top hat, and is a
Yeah.
silhouette. Oh, you know. Okay, you know. I think I just freaked out Brittany. Okay, yeah, it's a okay. Now that's a separate.
I don't wanna
It's,
hear
I
about
thought, yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
However, what you saw, that's not what he actually looks like. The dad. That's the version of himself that. What's the word? It's more of like the version of himself that he refuses to let go of. And there's two different ways that this could go. So
I'm a switch and
it's usually either that's just how they're conveying to you that I'm here
yeah.
by using a version of themselves that they once were that you would understand in your language. In this case, your visual language of seeing what he would look like.
Yeah.
If I ever die and you see LeBron James walking the hallway, just know it's me.
It's just Kia.
You guys are all freaking out. And Brittany's like, guys, Kia's back. It's just LeBron James walking in the kitchen.
But
But it was, I assume, for the reason that I was able to convey to her, and she was
Exactly,
able to feel
yeah.
at peace.
because otherwise there would have been no other way to convey that message.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, but it's just to add on because a lot of people think that that's what spirits look like when it's not. Our
No, because I've seen a completely different spirit. I'm seeing completely different, completely different ways of that. And you know, there's all the different types of spirits. You know, like there's the mimics that would like act like they're somebody else. You know,
Oh, I
there's
hate those.
the shadows. They're just like the shadows.
That thing spooks me out the most.
you mean this one?
Yeah, why is Adam over?
But yeah,
I know some of the videos on TikTok are fake of that, but it's just the concept of that kind of freaks me out.
I mean, that's like at the house she was at before, and the entity was playing like it was her son. Would look like him, exactly like him, run like him, talk like him. Wasn't.
but why wasn't it him?
Huh?
Why wouldn't it not be? Why would it not be him in
She
this case?
ran upstairs to
Yeah.
follow him, looked out the window, he's outside on a swing. There's physically not enough
Oh, so we're
time.
not talking about a dead person.
In the old house. The grandpa that we just talked about, yes, was a spirit. He passed away a couple months before that. And they just moved her mom to her house in Tennessee with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then she woke up at around like 3:23, same time that the song was here.
But the swing one was real.
But
He's
the
alive.
swing one, he's alive.
Did she have?
She ran upstairs to try to chase them through the maid's staircase.
Yeah.
Which to get up there and then you have the maid's
Do you-
room.
do you
and
know
the
if-
staircase is way over here and you have to run downstairs and then
No, I know
yeah,
it's like physically impossible. But I was just wondering, do you know if she may have had a?
This is
a-
the same house with like the crosses.
No, I know, but I'm saying, do you know if that lady may have had a second unborn son that died in the womb?
I don't know actually.
You might want to, if you ever do come across it, you might want to find that out because
That's crazy if that's
it's
true.
not always. Normally, a mimic has very, very specific intentions. It never plays around like that.
Oh.
It uses because the energy it needs to portray another entity, another human,
Yeah.
is so that it could do something very specific to you, never to just troll you. If it was that fun and random,
Yeah.
it might be the spirit of an unborn twin that wants to be part of the family. In a way. Because it sounded way too innocent to just be a mimic. A mimic is a very serious spirit.
If you what?
Huh? This all just like went, like it lowered its energy and then came back up.
Oh.
If you ask and that's true, I'll literally be like, it's like one thing. It's creepy enough when Brittany asks, and the follow-up question Adam asks are even creepier.
That's crazy. I mean,
But yeah,
cool
it's a
to
very
learn more.
possible thing because, again,
Juan's over
it's
there
like,
trying to produce a beat when he can. The girl's
He's
just
like,
smiling, ready
how am
to
I
go.
gonna clip this?
but yeah, it's like,
But then let me ask,
because a mimic is like, imagine if you were trying to, like very violently infiltrate someone's life and ruin it, not to just have fun.
Do
Yeah.
mimics ever do it just out of
because they're bored.
good faith, I guess? Not like for like a good reason?
It's like I'm bored.
Unlikely, but very, very rarely, because normally any spirit acting out of good faith is not trying to deceive you. Because that's a form of deception. And if it has to deceive you, it's probably trying to lure you into something that isn't good for you. If it's out of good faith, it'll come to you like when you see signs like 333 on the clock, or you drive past a billboard that answers your question very briefly that you were thinking about. That's how good spirits kind of send you messages, or even God. But those are usually very deceptive creatures.
So there's another one of a shadowy kid when I was younger.
Do you want to just take this? You're like deep in the chat.
No, I'll just see what they say. I appeared in the background and it. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Hey, what were you saying?
I have some other ones. So at my no, moved to my mom's house. My
Yeah.
mom also lives down in like this valley in the middle of the woods. I was telling earlier about how it must have been right after we moved there because cell phones weren't a thing. And she got her little camcorder and looked out the window, and it's like in the middle of the night, between like 2 and 4 a.m. and it's pouring down rain. And there's like a whole football field away from us is the fence line to the other person's property. And there's somebody digging in the middle of the night in the pouring rain. Just very eerie, weird things like that. But when
That's
I was-
very creepy. Like,
yeah, no idea what it was. My mom was like, if this is something sketchy, I'm not gonna get in trouble for this.
Like, can you think of any reason that wouldn't be sketchy?
no. Because what, like, if someone's, like, think about it. Why would, like, think about it. For
It's
what,
3 a.m., it's
for
in
what
the
good
rain.
reason would you need to go out in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. in the rain to dig a hole in the mud? Like,
can you-
unless you're trying to get rid of evidence.
Can you try to play devil's advocate and try to think of a good reason? Like I'm genuinely curious if there's like even one possibility.
Okay, very, 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 very tiny possibility that maybe he was burying, like,
Maybe he was just trying to dig a hole for his fence for the cow pasture.
But you also have to think about it, like if you dig in
oh
the
wait,
rain-
if it's a farmer, maybe because that's the only time the mud is soft enough to dig in through. That is a possibility. Because they might need agricultural reasons.
That's it.
That's
No
it.
one,
That was-
no one got buried.
Because it's either that or they killed someone. Like, why would you? It's like, but it
literally
makes
sounds
sense.
Like a movie. And filmed on a camcorder.
Yeah, we
You
were
want some heat?
confused. But so it might have been around that time when I switched schools from 3rd grade into like this private Catholic school,
Hmm.
and I was in 4th grade. I moved into my own room at our house, and I had this big like floor-to-ceiling window, and
Yeah.
the moon comes in that light, right?
Ooh.
So I have this big floor-to-ceiling window, just the top like half circle. The moon is shining in. My bed's over here, and then I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and I would like wake up and I look, and in the moonlight is this like dark shadowy figure sitting cross-legged, younger kid, staring at me. And to me,
Turn down a little. It's like, because I can't hear her.
my first one.
This should bring the heat in here.
No, I didn't say turn it off. Only turn it down.
To me, I wake up, I see this kid staring at me in
Yeah.
the moonlight. The moon is just directly hitting him. And it's like a dark shadow at first, but then to me, he looked like a kid that was in my new class. And I like remember waking up, looking at him, and being like, oh, dude, his name was Adam. I'm not kidding. I woke up, looked at him, and I was like, hi, Adam. Waved back at me, and I just went back to sleep.
Hmm.
Explain that.
Was he dead?
No, as a kid, I just
Oh.
moved schools. This kid was
No,
in
that's
class.
easy. There's nothing spooky in that.
What?
That's just. So did you, before that happened, did you say hi to him? Did you guys talk at all, converse?
He was just a random kid that was in my class.
So you weren't even friends, right?
No.
Okay, very high chance that, because again, the moonlight thing, usually when you're astral traveling in any way, astral projecting, the moon's sort of the moonlight is usually some form of like a,
Very connected to me.
yeah, it's like a navigation stream. It's sort of like a highway. So when the moon is shining brighter and brighter,
Highway is right behind that window.
yeah. So
What if Adam just really showed up to the house?
I really need some more.
You keep telling your stories.
but
Regular
So-
or sparkling?
you would have been, you being half asleep.
Orange or lime. What?
So you being half asleep and him astral projecting,
Yeah.
there would have been like a kind of a median,
Yeah.
and you probably woke up at a specific time where the veil is really thin. You could see what's happening in that dimension,
Yeah.
and he visited you maybe because he liked you or whatever, or he thought of you a little too much. He was like,
You did ask me out like 2 years ago.
"Oh, there you are." That's
Fourth grade, though.
yeah, but still, anyone with any age with enough intentional energy will end up visiting you in that realm, and you just simply saw it.
Huh.
Nothing scary or bad.
Other weird stuff that happened at my mom's house. I was 16 but I couldn't drive yet, and my sister already went to college. My parents were divorced. It was just me and my mom at the house, and my mom would leave because she's a teacher before I did. My friend would come pick me up for school, and I'm in my room here, and then there's one little hallway, and then the bathroom, and then there's the stairs that go downstairs. It's all like open, like in Indiana you have basements and stuff. And I'm in my room, and I hear like, and I'm like yelling at my dog. I hear that in the bathroom, and I hear like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm yelling at my dog like, I'm good. No. Yes. I hear that, and I hear like the licking in the toilet, and I was like, Petey, like get out of the toilet. I don't want my dog drinking the toilet bowl water. And I run into the bathroom and I go in there to try to like stop him. And then as soon as I'm in the bathroom, the stairs right here, I hear steps going downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I freaked out. I call my friend. I'm like, I'm not leaving my house. I'm in my room. I'm in my bathroom, my little like hairbrush and stuff. I'm waiting for her to come in and get me because I was so scared. But when I went out to go see where my dogs were, that's when I guess I ran out there first to see where they were, and they're locked in. We would like kennel them so they'd be in their little cages during the day, and my dog was locked in its kennel already. There's no way I could have been my dog. Do you have a reason for that?
That's just.
What is that?
Did anything bad happen? Hey, no. Did anything bad happen before or after that?
Those are the two very vivid things I remember from.
No, but I mean, was there any kind of no? Okay. Was there like Bro was destroying spooky time.
Huh?
Did it result in anything, or did it just scare you?
It just happened.
So it just scared you. There was no it didn't actually harm you, right?
No. It just scared me.
Okay.
It was just like a really eerie thing that happened and scared me.
I think it's just that area is just a hot spot for those type of things.
At
And-
my mom's house?
Well, apparently. But I mean, does that stuff happen often there? More often than it would in a normal person's
feel
house?
Like at my mom's down here in like the holler of the woods, we always feel like there's something watching you outside. Like if you're outside at night, it feels like some presence in the woods around you is watching you. It doesn't necessarily feel evil,
No, but
it feels
No, it's not
like
always
you're
evil.
being watched.
yeah.
And
No,
at some point, maybe protected, but you feel like you're being watched the whole time.
you've just described being around people.
What?
Sometimes it's creepy and you're being watched, sometimes being protected,
Yeah.
sometimes you hear footsteps. It's just more of that area likely has a really thin dimensional veil that when random entities and spirits do cross back and forth, it just sounds like as if there were actual extra dogs and people there.
Is there someone in that house? Where the light was?
Do you see someone walk
So I
by?
just saw someone in
The light outside
It's
turned
the
on.
time.
That's why.
It's
I'm telling you, the light outside
It was
turned
this
on.
time the other night, and I saw people walking in that like house right there.
Where the
Well,
light
that's-
is,
It's
right?
under construction.
The
Yeah,
light-
that lighted
I
window.
don't. It might have been someone was walking
Wait.
outside, like walking their dog or something with the light. You saw the light outside turn on and off, right?
Do you mean that house with the 3 windows?
Inside.
Yeah, it's all under construction. There's only construction workers there all day. But why would they be doing construction at 3 a.m.?
No, they're not. It's
I
likely
just saw someone in the room.
okay,
They
there's
literally did the other night.
it could literally just be homeless people.
Squatters' rights.
Yeah, there
Up
could
here?
actually just be squatters. Just
Up
Mm.
here. But there's people like.
homeless people have time.
No,
But I mean, like, there's construction people there all day.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe they leave.
Can I tell my one creepy story then?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll conclude on the one that Brittany was saying first. Yeah, that's
just
like
a small room.
that's not again, that's not a very it's not intentional. Like it's not intentionally focused. It's just like imagine putting your house in the middle of a highway.
It is in the middle of the highway.
It literally,
No. I mean, no. I'm saying
Dude, the house is literally the mailbox is on the on the freeway, and you turn off to the house off the
But
highway.
then it's just down in the middle of the woods.
It's like literally, it's literally. On
But
the
no, but I mean metaphorically. Imagine it's like putting your house on the interdimensional highway.
Yeah.
And then so other entities would be making those noises
Yeah.
and they're just chilling. Like they're just going back and forth.
You know.
Some of them are as like the same level consciousness as a pet.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's them going back and forth.
That's cool.
So it's nothing nothing crazy. It's like if you were to open an extra pair of eyes to see that stuff, you would just see extra traffic of the exact same things happening.
Yeah.
Like for example, how many animals did you say were in that house? The dog?
1 or 2.
Okay, so there's 2. And how many people on average?
Just 2.
Okay, well in that case, if you were to look interdimensionally, there would just be like 5 people and 3 more animals.
Even if nothing has happened there.
Yeah, nothing has to happen for it to contain spirits.
Oh.
Sometimes it's literally just like how we just see construction workers near us and then they leave and do after they do their thing. Even though they're not part of our story, they're just in this area too. Not everything is based on humans. Like we're just sometimes we're in the middle of their space.
It's possible we think maybe there was like Indian grounds or something as well
That
down there.
that just doubles it.
Yeah. So it's
But
a
yeah.
little. It's like even heavier energy than a normal hotspot place you would feel.
Now, can I say
Interesting.
my
Yeah,
story?
go.
Can you find the picture?
Oh, you just told the Alcatraz story.
Dude, this is crazy. It's
Wait.
we were in Alcatraz, and mind you, this is like for those of you watching, this is coming from someone who like, I don't like see spirits. I don't talk to spirits. I don't know what's real, what's not.
I do.
Did we go this year?
Who knows?
Last year.
It was our second.
Last year.
So this is coming from someone that's just kind of like, I'll try to find the reason it's not real and everything.
Yeah.
But we're in Alcatraz, the prison. You know where Alcatraz is?
Yeah.
Near San
Yeah.
Francisco.
So we're there.
Hold on. I skipped 10 seconds. How did Kia end up in Alcatraz prison?
Just listen.
We went there to visit because I went to see it, and it was our
It was our
like
2-year
our
anniversary.
2-year anniversary. So we went to Alcatraz.
And
Oh,
then,
man.
and then we go to the morgue. And at the morgue, Brittany goes, "Let me take a photo of inside the morgue." You have to look like this because it's really hard to see.
Wasn't I there
No.
the next
I
day?
told you about. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
saw the photo.
I was there.
Yeah,
I mean, I was there where I saw the photo. Yeah, I know.
That's when everything connected.
So listen to this. Then she takes a photo of the morgue, and Brittany literally in that moment is making sure no one's behind her for the reflection, so that she could get like a good photo. So she waits for this one lady to go, and the lady like kind of walks back in the photo, and then as Brittany's taking, she's like, "Oh shit, this lady walked in my photo, right?" And then later on, she's looking at the photos, and she just freaks out and starts screaming with Adam there too. And you not only see that lady walking by, but you see this clear image of this Native American woman staring into her camera from behind her. And I was standing behind her too, and this lady was not there.
For reference. This is the picture I took. But
Why is she wearing olden day clothes?
I don't know.
Like the thing that throws me off.
Dude, this one was
The thing that throws me off in that photo, if she was wearing anything else, wait.
Like, she
Dude,
looks
this
Kind
person-
of looks like your sister, bro.
I was behind Brittany. This person was not
Adam's
there.
sister's haunting me.
Adam's kind of looks like your
Like
sister.
no, you know what really freaks me out about that? Is she does not look like she's from that timeline.
That's what got me.
So it was
It's-
Native American land, and Native Americans got mad that they were taken off their land for this prison to be built. she's
And
dressed
why
like
is she
a Native
looking
American.
straight at the camera so perfectly?
Yeah, it's straight into.
Show me
Like
one.
the clothes
Show me one picture of the-
throw me off so much.
What?
Did you
The
take
late-
more than one picture?
Uh,
What?
Or just
I,
that-
Excess says time traveler.
I took this.
she also took this one.
I took this
where
picture
she's still
too,
there, still
and she's
looking.
still
Wait.
there.
But like
Hold on. Hold on. We need to see that again.
So this was maybe the other picture I took when I didn't think anyone was in it at all.
But
It
look
says,
how
like,
clear
this
she
person
is,
behind
and look how unclear the real person is that Brittany was worried about getting in her photo.
me. Yeah,
So Brittany was literally worried about this other lady being in the photo.
I was
She
worried
was-
about. Oh, this lady was
Brittany's
the one
like,
that
"Oh,
was
she-"
behind me.
So you would think
And
if
then
Brittany saw
she
her, she would see the other lady.
Steps
Yeah.
around me, and then this girl is somehow in it. But she was the one that was like behind me, and I knew she was gonna walk into my photo.
See, I like normally if she was if she was at least wearing normal clothes, I'd be like, guys, you just didn't see the lady behind you.
Yeah.
But it's like the fact that she's wearing like clothes you would never find
And
right
mind you,
now.
this is a tour guided trip where you have to take a boat to the island where no one's showing up wearing that kind of
We're
clothes.
like, we were all together.
Yeah, like you would have
Like, I
seen
would've
her before or
And I
after.
love fashion. I would have been like, oh, I love that outfit. That's very cultural. Cool. Anyway.
Don't you read?
I'm also like very sensitive. Like I can feel things. I can tell you a different story about this too. I can feel things and kind of like get a memory from them,
Yeah.
or like sense something and paint an image in my head of what happened in this specific place. So I was like, this might be cool. Let me walk
Thank you,
around.
baseball.
Let me walk around Alcatraz, and I'm gonna like just touch some things. So right next, I didn't see this picture yet until after when I showed you the picture
Yeah.
of my wrist. And then that's when we found out about the lady, and I started deep diving. But before then, I just walked around and I was touching this staircase. There was this pole coming down the staircase, and I was touching my hand down the wall, and then all of a sudden my wrist started burning, and my hand started burning, and then in my wrist it looked like this image of this like square. I don't know if you can see it at all, but it's like this white outline of like a 4-panel window. I don't know.
I could vouch for this.
You can see
As a
it.
skeptic, I was there.
I can't see it. Can you bend the phone more?
It's a little hard to see.
Oh wait, no, I see it now.
On here, it's right here. But you would faintly see it here, but Kia was with me and to vouch for it. It was like raised a little bit on my wrist. And I went around the place trying to find where I thought maybe this window might look so I can feel around that area. And we stopped in this one spot that's blocked off. I didn't really feel anything anywhere else, and I stopped in this one spot that's blocked off to a building that you don't have access to. And I'm standing there and I was like, I just get this feeling from this building. I know what it is that this building is drawing to me. And then we go back, didn't find this window anywhere, didn't see it, but when I go back to when we pulled up to the island on the boat, I took this picture of Alcatraz, right? So I take this picture and I'm like, okay, wait a second. This building right here has 4-panel windows.
Mm-hmm.
And this last, is that the one? Which one is it that has like the face in the way? One of these windows, I zoom in and, oh. Is this right? this last window, I zoom in really far. It's kind of hard to see from here, but it looks like there's like a face up here.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it.
Like a little white shadow.
That's
face
so
up here.
creepy.
And then on the other picture I took of this, you don't see that face in that. And then when I look back at, the map, this is the building that I was standing on the corner of, that I was like, I feel really drawn to this. So then I started doing some research. I'm looking up what the history of the island is. What is the history of like the Native Americans? Because I guess they killed a bunch of Native Americans on there because it was originally their land.
They unalive.
They unalived.
They colonized them.
Colonized. In pretty gnarly ways. So after the prison shut down, Native Americans came back on and claimed their land. There's one head chief, and he had a younger daughter that fell to her unaliving from a staircase from a building that was where the workers stayed. Guess what building that was? That one. The one that I just showed you. She fell from a staircase, apparently from that building. And then she was rushed over to the mainland to go to the hospital. She was in there for 3 days. The dad talked to one person, one reporter, and he has the same last name as me. He only spoke to one American person, like one mainland person after this had happened, and it was him. And then 3 days later she passed. And then he went back, wasn't the same, disappeared, gave up all of his writing.
And
then Kia
Let me say
has
something.
me. Okay, go ahead.
And then my family and I were, I'll tell you what we saw, and you tell us what you saw here. My family and I were at a Persian restaurant, we called Brittany, and Brittany's explained to my parents about the whole image stuff and everything she felt. And then she starts freaking out on the other end of the FaceTime call, and she says she saw.
I'm laying in my bed and I'm telling them everything that happened, and I see someone come up. My window is like right at the roof, and I see someone like come up and stand at the window, and I just see the tail, and it's a red-tailed hawk. I know it's because it's my favorite bird. A red-tailed hawk comes and sits at my window. It comes up to the roof, sits at my window, and flies away in a flash.
As she's telling the story, which is like, it's one of the birds of the Native American.
Instinctively.
Ooh.
This is really creepy. Like, my mom's also like, I think somebody's trying to talk to you.
Yeah. So I found all this out. They are restoring that building. I want to go back. One of my friends is a very big medium, and I want to go back with her when they reopen that building and see if there's something, maybe a connection, maybe that younger spirit girl. Oh, I also looked up a picture to try to find the girl. Looks very the mom looks like that girl in the photo, which could be the transition of that.
Can spirits get older?
No.
Oh, really?
Because remember, they're not. The idea of time and space is only for our senses. We experience existence frame by frame. They see all, like, depending on them, but they don't have a sense of frames. They're very chaotic.
Is it the age you pass away?
Not always. It's the age you identify with the most.
Can you identify with an age you never were?
As her mother.
No.
She wanted to be a mother.
No, wait, explain that question again.
Like, can you identify, like, if you, like...
If she passed when she was like 9,
Mm-hmm.
but looked up to her mother and always wanted to be a mother, she identified her spiritual age as her mom.
No. What she's doing, if anything, would be channeling the mother that she got the experience, the learned experience from. It's like, kind of like, I want to be like this person so much that I'm going to do what I remember them doing to me. but from their perspective. And again, because the spirit's not limited by anything, time or space, they don't have to just be the kid.
Yeah.
They can be any shape,
That's
regardless.
What we're saying. So maybe it is her, but she's taking the shape of her mother.
Yeah, because again, you have to remember that the reason most of them aren't necessarily good, they're either neutral, they're mostly neutral or bad, and then a few are good, is because number one, the good ones never want to interfere.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of this existence is that we experience it this way and not interdimensionally. However, the ones that do linger around and cause all of these paranormal stories are the ones who have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Do they?
They are so attached to physical reality.
Oh, so they.
No, they don't always know that.
Oh, really?
They don't understand it. They don't know it.
Is it like us, where some people know, some people don't?
Kinda. Remember, yeah, it's like,
could they be having a conversation like us,
yeah,
where like
yeah,
one person like me's like more skeptical? And
yeah.
one person,
Like some
I
of
could
them
see
are,
the
some of them are, if anything, like stupider than people. Sometimes they don't know where they are. They don't know what death is. They don't know that they died. Sometimes it's like that. Like it's not always, there's no set structure that you just automatically get to go up or down.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you refuse to open yourself up to possibilities and you get stuck on one like idea, usually due to like being narrow-minded and stuff, sometimes it could just be that way until something significant happens. So sometimes it's literally just them like legit role-playing, because there's no actual effect. They can't actually affect anything here. All they can really do is get into people's minds to make them see these things. And then if they get into people's minds deep enough, they can cause those people to start doing things physically around them in their environment that makes them think that it's a spirit. But most of the time, it's just them playing with people's minds because they role play so hard that they master it over such a long period of time of being here doing nothing. And then they just, again, always goes back to attachment. They refuse to let go. They stay here. They play a role so hard that it starts to mimic a specific signature. Like, that's why there's so many, like, common spirits that people can identify, is because they refuse to let go any other way, shape, or form. And they stay that way, and then, bam. Then you get all these stereotypes and typical behaviors, which are always to do with either deception or like just simply attachments. But yeah, but
There are good ones like guardian angels.
no, yeah, that's a different thing though. It's I'm not saying they're all one or the other. It's just like people. It's just the good ones normally come in a way that fits you best,
Yeah.
that you understand in your own language, so that when you interpret it, it's not coming in a way that is gonna confuse or deceive you. And then once the good ones, once you're ready, they'll come up in ways that are a little more direct.
Yeah. My friend.
Because the other thing too is just to continue on that, the reason that the good ones interfere extremely minimally and slowly is because they know it causes psychosis. Because again, like, you have to go back to clinical stuff. Like, this is literally how psychosis and clinical schizophrenia begins. Is when people who are uneducated about spiritual stuff start experiencing it too fast, their brains don't know where they are, which is why the good ones don't interfere. Because they don't want you to go crazy. They want you to be able to actually handle the signs that you're trying to give you. And again, only when you're praying for it too. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I did deal with the schizophrenia lady one time.
What was that?
The schizophrenia lady
Yeah.
that supposedly sent a spirit to come mess with me. So it was me and my ex in an apartment, and my sister's room was over to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and he's in the kitchen making food, and I'm sitting at the dining room table. and I see her door open and close. And I was like, what the heck? So then he comes over, yelling at us, like, go away, whatever it is, go away. And then it stopped for a second, and then open, close, open, close, open, close.
Mm-hmm.
And in her room, on the window opens up to, like weird architecture. There's like a staircase that goes up to nothing. A brick staircase that goes up to nothing, and there's a window on one side, a window on the other. Schizophrenia lady lives on that side. And his sister's room was right there. And that's the room that the door was being crazy on. And at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, whatever happened? Freaked out. We go out of the apartment, run downstairs, get to my car. The schizophrenia lady sitting on the other side of the street with her arm around no one, but arm is out like it is around someone on the bench. And she's like, it's okay, you can leave now. They're at the car.
No, that is just straight up schizophrenia.
So
Because let me explain it this way.
schizophrenia, but there's spirit.
No, there is a spirit there. The
Right.
thing is, it's not one or the other.
Yeah.
She's extremely schizophrenic for the fact that she's trying to physically do something when the spirit doesn't have that shape to begin with.
Yeah.
They don't have a shape that you can tangibly hug
Yeah.
in the physical reality.
Mm.
But they might want you to think that so that they live in your head rent free. But again, it's most likely, and any spirit that wants to play with her is gonna harm her more than the person she's trying to harm.
Yeah.
Because the real victim here is the person who thinks they're doing that stuff.
Yeah, it was really.
Because she's like, again, unless you're like a high level like Freemason witchcraft warlord or something, that's a different story. But a random lady who's very seemingly narcissistic almost, that is just straight up just that's more schizophrenia than spiritual. And you having the fear that she might be able to do something is her only power.
Yeah.
That is the
Well,
only
it
thing.
was just like one scary time, but for the weird things of that happening, that she was summoning her spirit friend to come mess with us, it's kind of like crazy.
Did it do anything like tangible to you guys?
And we left fast enough that I didn't have a chance to.
No, there was. That's not how it works, though. It's you can't leave if a spirit was truly after you. There's no time to leave.
Yeah.
There's never a time to leave, because again, there's no time and space where they are. So if they wanted to get you, they'd be at your destination before you.
Yeah.
But that lady is just straight up
And she
schizophrenic.
Summoned it to come mess with us at the time. I don't know if she was bored. They was bored. I don't know. But
No, she has no. Good night, soldier. Because with those type of things,
Merry Christmas. I mean, happy birthday.
if there's a rush or a time limit, then it's just that lady's just going crazy with no one helping her. If anything, it's likely there's nothing helping her at all.
How could you correlate the door moving rapidly?
That's
like
her.
That? That was her?
That is purely her. Not physically.
She's-
Remember, because spirits can only make that stuff happen by using you. Using the person that they're most attached to.
So she wanted it to move the door handle. Or she wanted to move the door handle so the door handle actually moved.
Yeah. Because again, all the supernatural things you see them do is when they're so attached to a specific person that person have given them permission to use their own abilities. They only have permission to do that through a person. It's not them physical, if that makes
That's
sense.
why when they do need the permissions and things for like you feel like something attached to you,
Exactly.
you have to
It's
tell,
always
like,
permission.
You don't have my permission to follow me. You must
Yeah.
be here. You can't connect to me.
But just the fact that you were able to run away in time means you had zero, like,
And we
it
just
had
wanted
zero
to
effect on
leave
you.
The apartment, because it was like it happened in the apartment, and we go leave, and that word for word we're saying that like it's okay for me now. They're gone. when we got to my car.
Yeah, but no, it's just it's not exactly adding up because there's nowhere to leave. That's just straight up. She's trying to give it a physical identity so badly
Yeah.
when there isn't one. And again, if nothing actually happened to you guys, that means it's only attached to her.
Yeah.
It's just she's the only victim in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But she just arrogantly thinks that she had some kind of power over that situation, which the only power here was fear and belief. Because if there was any true power, that thing would be there before you would get out, before you'd be at your destination. The car wouldn't work. Your form of transport wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
If there was any effect at all. But you were just I think you were just talking about a really narcissistic lady that was actually just liked talking to herself.
She wanted to scare us.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing more than fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Sometimes people who seem like they're witches or wizards are straight up just.
What about that scenario happening, but there's not a schizophrenic person?
I need more context. What's the scenario?
Me and my friend went to babysit for a family one time,
Mm-hmm.
and our other friend is usually the one that would do it, but me and her went together because I guess weird stuff happens at that house.
Yeah.
And like the two kids, they sleep in really late upstairs, and the one's like door is locked, so he bangs on his door or whatever. And I'm using the bathroom upstairs, and I hear stuff falling down the stairs, and the kids are both asleep, and my friend's downstairs, and these toys fell down the stairs while I'm in the bathroom upstairs.
Mm.
And then me and her both take a nap, and she wakes up and she's like, "What do you want?" And I woke up and I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You kept hitting me on the head, like poking me on the head." Remind you, the kids are locked in their rooms until we go get them up from bed, right? One's in a crib and one's door's locked. And we're like, okay, well that's really weird. There's a table behind the couch and it's like, has this guy's pictures all over it. And it looks kind of like a little like shrine.
Mm-hmm.
We start talking about it. We're like, I wonder who that is. Like, I wonder what happened. Like, oh, that looks like a memorial type of thing. It says like, rest in peace, whatever. And the basement door starts doing that. Open, close.
Mm-hmm.
Open, close. And we freak out. We jump out on the up on the couch. We start screaming. And it starts doing it faster. Open, close, and we just stop. Like, what the heck? Nothing's there, nothing's around the door. We call a friend, like, what the heck is happening? What's going on? We don't know. We just started, like, stuff fell downstairs, the kids were asleep. We were talking about, like, these photos and stuff around the house. Like, did something weird happen here? The mom's mom's younger brother used to live in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Was going through some stuff, ended up living down there. I don't know if it was at the house or a different house, but he was playing roulette with his friends stupidly, and he lost.
Russian roulette?
Russian roulette. Yeah.
Ru-
Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea.
What would be the outcome in that?
Well, obviously the outcome.
Like, if I lose in Fortnite, cool, I'll play again. But if you lose in Russian roulette, it's like, oops, I died. What?
Yeah.
You play my version of Fortnite.
So.
No.
Yeah, that actually happened, sadly. I don't know why. I mean, this
Again,
is
wait,
also
hold on. I need to ask a few things. What did you say about a shrine?
It was like this table, and it had a lot of pictures of him.
The person that died?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of explains itself.
And he lived in the basement. I went down there.
'Cause-
There wasn't anything weird, but that was what happened. And then just like toys falling down the stairs, or you get these really weird noises through the vents. You know, like air
Yeah.
vents. You can hear like weird stuff happening. Usually it's in the basement. That's usually where like the air thing is.
This goes back to attachment, because them having that shrine and pictures and stuff to mourn, that's their form of being attached, not being able to let go, which also in turn gives. Can you not do that to Brittany's face? It also in turn gives that person permission to continue to be attached, because they're again, remember, that person's also confused as to why they are suddenly dead and gone.
They're just playing a game
Yeah.
with a friend, and then next thing
Yeah. So them and the family being on the same page of not being able to let go allows it to live there under their permission. That permission opens up the door for things to be physical. Again, it's using the people in the house.
Yeah.
This is not the schizophrenia part, but it's using the people in the house,
The attachment.
their permission through attachment. The attachment is the confirmation that they're allowed to live there and mess with things, and they want to still be part of the family, so they start messing around with things as if they are part of the family.
Yeah.
Touching doors, falling toys, like that kind of stuff.
It's a full-on tree, but I swear I just saw a light go from the tree.
It's probably one of the
It's like a
lights from the city.
That's a really dense tree right there. Like the tree right behind you.
Right.
That
This?
tree, yeah. Say in between like the.
Oh, I think I saw something.
Do you see a light?
Yeah, there is houses down there though.
Yeah, there's that.
Wait, someone like, why the fuck are they being so loud?
Yeah, who's behind you? Dun dun dun
Dude,
dun
you
dun
know,
dun
okay,
dun
that's
dun
like
dun.
funny. It's like I don't turn around. I was like, oh dude, that's crazy. You know, keep behind you.
But yeah, no, that's just, yeah, that is just like, again, the refusal. It's the attachment. It's the same cycle. It's almost every single spiritual story you hear, good or bad, always to do with, just the unable to let go, like in denial. They're basically in denial, and they're given permission to stay here and not move on,
Yeah.
because they don't know any better. So they want to be comfortable and familiar.
I have another one, I guess. So, what is your take on like items retaining memories?
That was so creepy. Something sounded like it fell.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sounded like a bunch of hands or something on top of each other. Or like, you know, when like a sewage drain, you go over and it goes.
The hell? That was so random. Okay, continue. This should probably be the last story, because I think it's physically getting creepier as we talk about this. No, what's the item retaining memory?
Like items holding memories. Physically drawn out memories.
Oh, it says people partying.
Like if I touch something
Mm-hmm.
and feel an actual memory and paint the same memory and live it, like see it go through my head by touching something.
Yeah, this.
So what is your take
It's not
on items holding?
No, it's not the item. Nothing to do with the item. It's you. It's more of like, for example, let's say, how do I explain this? Like if it really held memory, because everything holds memory, whether it's an object or our DNA, everything has memory. But the only thing that can truly look through it is a person that can read it. Think of how a blind person has to read Braille by touching things. They can touch things, retain, like, read the information that allows them to understand something.
Yeah. Are they able to view it in a physical
In their own way, yes.
picture?
In that, like, let's say, because remember, we're using the analogy of a blind person reading Braille.
Yeah.
It's they're using one of their sensory senses
Yeah.
to interpret something that they're absorbing in a way that makes sense. Because I'm trying to translate it to how you would have it. And so, except you have the same thing, but a little more, instead of Braille, it's like, think of it as like interdimensional Braille,
Yeah.
where you're feeling the Braille of everything that object has been through. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the only way I can really explain it.
Well,
It's like-
it is still that items contain memories.
No, I know they contain it, but not everyone can read it.
Yeah.
But what I mean is everything, this can contains memories.
Yes.
But I mean, but the reason you can is because you understand the Braille, the spiritual Braille language
Yeah.
of items in general, of like objects. And so, I'm hearing so many weird noises behind me.
There's a lot going on.
We probably shouldn't be doing this in the middle of a forest. But
Where
in the
there's
Hollywood
so
Hills,
much
where people
energy.
sold their souls.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's a
it's
lot
like,
going on.
it's not something, it's like, again, you can't give too much credit to the object itself. It's more you.
Oh yeah.
It's more just like, you're able, like for example, you could give two people, like a person who speaks English and a person who doesn't even speak English, you could give them a piece of paper that contains a paragraph that explains a history to a place. One of them could, no matter how many times they look at it, they won't understand English.
Yeah.
Whereas one of them will be able to read it and say, this paper talks about a point in time that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's like that,
Okay.
except you with just objects in general. Because you're able to, again, read it like it's
Like
Braille.
Braille.
Yeah,
The spiritual Braille reading.
exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Announcement soon. I'm just waiting on something to finish. But yeah, it's like,
That's cool.
it's more your ability than it is a thing. Because there's memory in every living thing in existence. So it's like,
But even like a fire pit,
yeah,
a concrete fireplace.
yeah. And anything at all. Because you're not limited to the object. You're limited to your own senses. The reason most people don't pick it up is because they're limited to their senses.
Yeah.
It's like you explaining this is like me trying to explain a blind person what I see with my eyes.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like that. You have the extra senses that surpass the time and space of this object. And so you can read the Braille
yeah.
of where it's been throughout all the time up till now. It's so cute. Okay.
Well, that's cool. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's like it's nothing demonic or paranormal. It's just like, again, it's just, you just have the extra senses.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not very great. Sometimes it's pretty cool.
Kia
I
here.
don't want to know things sometimes.
But it's like, but remember, sometimes you see things that you don't want to see, but that doesn't mean you can make yourself go blind because you saw one thing that you don't like.
Yeah,
You want superpowers? Come on, let's draw pentagrams down there.
I'm concerned. There's a tarp down there.
God damn, it's been more than an hour. I need to end this. Okay, Z
Sorry,
gang.
Z-gang.
No, it's okay. No, it's not sorry to them. They like the more I stream, they like it. It's just me because I need to sleep soon. Okay, D-Yang. At the beginning and end of every stream, we do the Sigma face. It is our hello and our goodbye, and I don't think we'll have time to go down there and sneak around and explore yet. Correct, XS. Correct, Robbie. Bro speaking Shakespeare. What up, Darth Vader? Darth Vader, don't worry. I will send it soon. Do not worry.
That stream?
Hold on. Correct, Uminyazi. Correct again. I hope you guys liked the spooky, scary stories we had to tell today. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take this stuff seriously.